first question I wanted to ask is about the collaborative nature of Roomful of Teeth, the outside instructors of the different vocal techniques, the various different composers. So I wanted to know what you think the benefits are of working with so many different musicians, so many different styles, and if this is something you do often as a composer, sort of collaborative projects like this.
Well, I've never seen a project really like this before.
Sure.
I do a lot of collaborative work with ensembles, so an ensemble will commission me to write a piece, but it's pretty rare that there's been a group of master musicians who come in and teach the ensemble how to do a variety of techniques before they come and work with me as a composer. So what's really unusual about this project is everybody coming in at once as having an open mind to something new. So the ensemble is learning new techniques at the same time that we are learning them as composers, and then we all have to kind of work together to find ways of turning this into something that's listenable, and I think we've done a really good job of doing that.
That's great. And then just as a follow-up, you have sort of a personal history of making music in the Berkshires with Bang on a Can at Tanglewood and at Williams. And are you enjoying being back, and does the area have any sort of special resonance for you as an artist?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I came up here a lot as a kid because we had friends who lived in the region, and a lot of my formative musical experiences that I don't even remember took place kind of in these hills. But then later on, 3 of the absolute most important experiences of my life at Tanglewood and at Bang on a Can and of course at Williams all took place within this region. So being here definitely is a place of moving forward in my musical life, and a lot of the relationships that I've made at those 3 places have become lifelong relationships that I've carried into New York and will carry for the rest of my life. So being here is definitely a place that I associate with growth as an artist, and it's also a place that I can simply think of as my own space, as opposed to space where I'm beholden to the other things that kind of get in the way when you're in New York or in other places that have those kinds of constraints on your time.
Could you briefly describe the rehearsal process so far? How have the various professionals, the coaches, the composers, and the singers all been interacting?
Well, I haven't been there for all the rehearsals.
Sure.
I'll talk to Brad more about that. I mean, for my rehearsals, we've been having a lot of back and forth where they've been asking me questions and I've been giving them what answers I can. But the unusual thing about this collaboration is that normally if I'm a composer and I come to the table and I say, I don't really know how this instrument is supposed to sound, then I'm really doing a bad job of being a composer. In this case, there's no way that I could know how these instruments sound because they're just learning these techniques for the first time, and each one of these techniques is going to sound different for their voice on a voice-by-voice basis. So I have to learn what their sounds are as people, as instruments, and then they're also learning them at the same time. So we're all kind of really opening ourselves up to having a dialogue about each step of the process, and I've encouraged them to take chances to try to make decisions on their own, because I'm not going to be able to tell them this is really what I want. What I want is to see what they come up with, and then based on that make a decision as to whether or not that's what I want to hear. The pinball game.
Yeah.
Because we're all coming from a similar place of newness and freshness. They're making sounds that they haven't made before as singers, and I'm hearing sounds that I haven't heard before as a composer. So, the music that I hand them is only one small step on the way to the final process, or the final product that they're going to be bringing to people on Friday night and in the future. And I think this is really the perfect kind of environment for that, because there's no pressure on us to feel like, we need to have all the answers immediately. We just want to sort of show people where we're getting to and learn for ourselves what sort of directions this whole collaborative process is going to point to, because we couldn't have known that coming in, and I think we're only going to have some sense of it leaving, but we're going to have a lot more sense than we did a couple weeks ago.